Yo, what's up? It's your boy. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of this video. The englandpja is gonna show you something pretty cool. Then make sure you hit that like and subscribe.
Yo, what's up guys? Hope you're doing well. I'm guessing you clicked on this video because you've seen the TikToks with the Drake, Kanye, Joe Biden, Obama, whatever voice you've heard, AI. And I'm assuming you don't have the funds to go out and hire Drake to rap on one of your beats that you made. Hey yo, what the fuck? You calling me poor? Well, I'm calling you rich, dumbass. So that's why today I'm going to show you how to get those Drake vocals into your beats. There are some great videos out there on the same steps, but I'm aiming this video a little bit more towards producers. Pay attention, I'll have all the links for what I'm doing down below, and I'll put a little tutorial in my Discord server, so make sure you join that as well. So the first thing you'll want to do is you want to go to anaconda.com and download that. Anaconda is basically a virtual environment for some Python code. So what this means is instead of running the code on your computer, you'll be running the Python code in a virtual environment, which is its own little world. If you're familiar with virtual machines, it's kind of the same principle where the virtual environment doesn't really interact with your host computer. So get this downloaded. Once it's downloaded, you should have an app called Anaconda PowerShell prompt. Open that up. Okay, perfect. Now you'll have this running and you'll see here that says base. Now what base refers to is your host environment. So that's your computer. So whatever code we're running right now will run on your local computer. So go ahead and type this in, conda create -- name, and then the name of the virtual environment that you want, and then the Python version, and hit enter. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and activate that environment. Just say Y and click enter, and it'll complete the process. Okay, perfect. Now you'll see that it says base again. So what we want to do is we want to activate that virtual environment by typing this command in, conda activate, and then the name of the virtual environment that you just named. So in my case, it's AI voice. Hit enter, and now you'll see that base has changed from AI voice, which means we're now in that virtual environment and not on our host computer. So the tool we're using to create the AI voices is called Soft VC Vits Singing Voice Conversion. Now this is a fork, so you're gonna have that nice little interface that you can use instead of using command prompt. So now with the virtual environment working, we want to copy these lines of code into the virtual environment. So we'll do this line by line. So we'll get that first command up and running. Now we'll get the second line up and running, but just keep in mind this line might only work if you have a GPU. So I have an RTX 3070, which is how the AI is going to kind of create the sound. It's going to use the power of my GPU. So we'll run this. I just had an issue with my internet, so I just had to restart it, but we'll run it again. And depending on how fast your internet is, it'll take quite a bit of time. Mine's only going to take about a minute because I have about gigabit down, so shouldn't take too long for me. Okay, awesome. You'll see here that mine says uninstalling. That's because I accidentally installed it in my base system originally. So ignore that. You should just say successfully installed. All right, now we'll run the last command. You'll see mine kind of flew through. That's because again, I installed it in my base system. Yours might take a little bit of time. So that's pretty much installed. Now we just want to update that program. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the final piece of code. So that last line of code that we just ran is to check for updates. So occasionally you'll just want to run that again just to make sure you're running the latest version of Sovits. And now we have it installed. So what we want to do is we want to type in SVCG, which stands for Singing Voice Conversion GUI. You might get a pop-up like this. Just select your default USB ASIO driver if you have one. If not, it'll just be your Windows driver. Okay, awesome. Now look at this. We have the user interface popped up, so I'm going to minimize everything in the background. Just don't close out of this PowerShell prompt in the background. We want that open. Awesome. So this is the interface that we're going to be using to convert the voice that we want into AI of someone else. I'm not going to show you how to train the models of specific people. There's a Discord with thousands of people in there. You can join that, and they post their own models. So what a model is, it's basically the voice that you want to replicate. To train a model, you need to teach the AI the sound of that person. In order to do this, you need thousands of vocal clips of that person and train the model like that. So this Discord server has thousands of people who have already contributed and already provided models and configs for different voices. So you can check out that Discord server. It's called AI World, I believe. And people there post all the time with different people and different voices. So this is the basics of how to use this interface. You want to click on model path, click browse. And you want to go to the folder that has your AI voice in it. So for example, if I want to do Drake, I double click on this PTH file. Okay, and we can see in the background that the PowerShell prompt is loading something. And now we want to do the same for config path. So every time you download a model from someone else, they should have two files. They should have the .pth file, which is the model, and they should have the config file, which is the config. All right, perfect. Now over here, we want to browse for our folder that we want to convert the sound of. So earlier this week, I just recorded a stupid voice recording of myself, so I can double click on that as my file that I want to record. All right, and then right here, we can change the output to wherever we want. So I can call it PJ voice out, or I can call it Drake PJ. Perfect. Okay, so these top two sections we've covered. Now let's move on to the comment section. The comment section is where you can kind of tweak the AI to either use auto-tune, which is this pitch correct, and it has some other settings in here which you don't really need to mess with. The only thing you should really be concerned with is if you want it to have some autocorrect, you can leave this at 12. If you don't want it to auto-tune, change this down to 0. If you're using the autocorrect version, you can change this F0 prediction method from Dio to crep. I saw online that seems to be better. I haven't tested it for myself. You guys can test and mess around with that. If you're planning on using this for beats anyways, you're gonna auto-tune yourself. So it's kind of, if you want to do it, you can, you don't need to. All right, so I'm gonna change this back down to 0. And we can just make sure that the person is selected there. So Drake 01. Okay, perfect. And then we can ignore the real-time section. The real-time section is more for if you want to pass through your audio into like Discord or something and convert your voice in real time. We're not going to do that today. Before I forget, make sure you deselect this autoplay, because if you leave it on, it's going to play as soon as you change the model and it'll scare the shit out of you. Alright, so down here we can leave the presets the same. Make sure you select use GPU. This is going to make sure that it gets done pretty quickly. So with everything perfect, we can click confer, and then if we check the PowerShell prompt in the background, we can see it doing something, so we can let it go through the commands. Okay, perfect. It says finished interference for PJ voice, so now we can go and listen to that file. Alright, so I did a very short clip. This was my voice, and then I'll play the other 4 and you can kind of guess who they are based on the AI model that I used. Alright, so number 1. Mic test 1, 2. Let's see how well this works. It seems like the audio amplitude is louder. Alright, let's play the first AI model that I used.
Mic test 1, 2. Let's see how well this works. It seems like the audio amplitude is louder.
Let's play the second AI.
Mic test 1, 2. Let's see how well this works. It seems like the audio amplitude is louder.
Play the third one.
Mic test 1, 2. Let's see how well this works. It seems like the audio amplitude is louder.
And let's play the fourth one.
Mic test 1, 2. Let's see how well this works. It seems like the audio amplitude is louder.
Let me know if you guys can guess whose voices those are. They're not based on real people. That's for YouTube to not strike my YouTube channel. They're imitators. So you guys can use this method and you can use these rappers, whoever you want, whatever models you can find or generate yourself, use them for your beats, but make sure you're using them for purposes for learning. You can't be profiting off of other people's voice, and you can't be using other people's voices to promote yourself. It's super unethical. I'm just showing you as a tool to kind of generate beats to give you an idea for how different artists might sound on your beat. So it's a good learning tool for that. Other than that, it's super sketchy to use it for any other reason. But like I said, use it at your own risk. The tool itself is very convenient. I'd like to think that I'm very tech inclined, but I found the steps and procedure for setting this up to be super simple. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you comment below or check out the AI World Discord server, which I'll post below. They are super helpful. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm doing this video to aim it towards producers more. So if you guys like this video and found it helpful, make sure you hit the like button below. All right, I'll try and post more tech tips in the future. I'm PJ and I'm out.
PJ on the track.